French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte Macron have filed a defamation lawsuit against American conservative commentator and podcaster Candace Owens, citing what they describe as a malicious smear campaign involving false and damaging allegations about their personal lives. The lawsuit, filed in a Paris court, stems from repeated claims made by Owens on her widely followed podcast and social media platforms. According to legal documents obtained by French media, Owens accused Brigitte Macron of concealing her gender identity and asserted that President Macron was involved in covering up a scandal related to his wife's past allegations that the Macrons categorically deny and label as despicable fabrications. The controversy began when Owens, during several episodes in early 2025, revived a long-debunked conspiracy theory that claimed Brigitte Macron was born male, a false narrative that first emerged on French websites in 2021. At the time, Brigitte had already initiated legal proceedings against the original sources of those rumors. Now, the Macrons argue that Owens amplified the falsehoods to a global audience with the intent to harm their reputation and sow political discord. In a formal statement, the Élysée Palace said, President Emmanuel Macron and Madame Brigitte Macron will not tolerate deliberate defamation intended to humiliate and destabilize them. The spread of malicious lies and gender-based attacks is unacceptable, and those responsible must be held to account. Owens, known for her provocative and often controversial commentary, has not responded directly to the lawsuit, but hinted at it during a recent podcast episode. She defended her remarks as political opinion and framed the legal action as an attack on free speech. If the French president thinks he can silence Americans talking about public figures, he's in for a surprise, she said. However, legal experts note that while Owens is a U.S. citizen and her content is produced in America, France's defamation laws, particularly regarding personal dignity and public reputation, allow for international cases under certain circumstances, especially when the content in question is accessible in France and causes reputational harm within its jurisdiction. This case raises serious questions about the boundaries of speech, misinformation, and international accountability in the digital age, said Jean-Baptiste Allard, a Paris-based media law analyst. France has stricter protections for personal reputation than the United States. The court will have to decide whether Owens's comments cross the line into defamation. Owens has previously been embroiled in other public controversies, often pushing unverified claims and conspiracy theories. She has a large following among conservative audiences and has been a vocal critic of progressive leaders in Europe, including Macron, whom she has accused of being weak on immigration and hostile to free expression. The defamation suit arrives at a tense moment in French politics, with Macron's administration facing heightened polarization after the recent snap parliamentary elections. Analysts suggest that the president's decision to pursue legal recourse may be aimed not only at protecting his family's privacy, but also at setting a precedent against the international spread of political misinformation. Brigitte Macron, 71, a former schoolteacher, has kept a relatively low profile in public life, but has occasionally been targeted by sexist and ageist attacks online. The false gender identity rumor has been particularly hurtful, her lawyers say, and the renewed attention brought by Owens's commentary has caused deep emotional distress. The Macrons are seeking both financial damages and a public retraction from Owens. The case could take months to resolve, but may have far-reaching consequences for how foreign figures are held accountable for statements that affect public figures. In Europe, as social media continues to blur borders and the influence of American political commentators grows internationally, the Macron-Owens defamation case could become a landmark in cross-national legal disputes over online speech, privacy, and disinformation.